Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Cast Revive, your weekly Top 5 VGM podcast. I'm your host, Matt Heimerl, and tonight we're doing things a little bit different because with me I have the amazing Mr. Brandon Specht with me because I gave the other two guys the night off. Well, Brian 3 weeks off because Brian is in England, but I gave Steve the night off so he can take care of some things. So I have Brandon joining me this evening, and we're going to do something special. Before I get into that, why don't you go ahead and say hi, you handsome man.
Hey guys.
So we're doing this. Brandon put something together because he's been my neighbor for 7 years now, and I'm actually moving out this weekend. So we kind of are doing this episode to where I'm sure you guys have certain tracks that you think of when you think of a good friend and stuff like that. So Brandon put kind of a list together to kind of go over our friendship over the last several years.
It's kind of autobiographical of our friendship. Now, I've been on the podcast before, but this is a special one because, like I said, this is a little bit of closure to Matt moving. I can't believe it's been 7 years.
I know. It's out of control.
That's been a long time, and much of that time was spent working on projects together, working on different things.
And playing a lot of games.
Yes, and now we kind of both have our own projects, but we still find reasons to work together on stuff.
Right, absolutely.
On my channel, if you guys don't know me, I'm Brandon. I'm one of the folks that work on Retro Spectrum on YouTube. If you look up retro_spectrum, you'll find my YouTube channel. And we do a lot of local event stuff, but then a lot of nerdy stuff as well. It's just basically a love letter to everything I love about fandom, as well as kind of a parody on those things that you see on YouTube that we take as normal, but are kind of like.
You get invited to a lot of really cool things, so it's really cool the range of stuff you get to do.
And again, that a lot of that is thanks to the stuff that you and I did together. I mean, we really got a chance to do a lot of stuff, and the network is large at this point. And I other than my own project, I do social media and help out with events for the BART, and then that's the Bar Arcade Art Gallery on Mills. And then I also work with Free Play Florida now, which is great, which is arcade and pinball conventions, Florida's largest arcade and pinball convention. And we're excited because this year we're going to bring out you guys, Cast Revive and Geek Street Station.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
It's going to be a big year for us. We're making some big announcements on special guests coming soon. Some big names. But I thought since I knew I was going to be talking a little bit about the arcade stuff, I'd pick an arcade game that both Matt and I are
very
huge
fond
fans of.
Yes.
Huge fans of, and that's the original Ninja Turtle arcade. I probably like Turtles in Time a little bit better, but this is the one I probably played more of.
You can't go wrong with the original Turtles arcade. It's an amazing game and so many memories, especially we're both avid Turtles fans, so it's appropriate to start out with the old school Turtles track.
What's your favorite version of the Ninja Turtles? There's been a lot of versions, some good, some not so good. I'm referencing the more current future.
Yeah. I don't know. I really want to try the new one that just came out, even though I'm not a fan of cell shaded.
Oh, the games?
Yeah.
I've heard some mixed reviews on that one, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I mean, how can you beat the arcade game?
No, you really can't. I mean, four players, Turtles, and when I was growing up, they had a cabin at this restaurant called Adelphia's, and I would always go out there and it was always empty. But after I was done eating, I was like, Dad, can I get a couple quarters? I want to go play on the arcade machines. I went out there, and I started playing. By like 10 minutes later, it always had other kids coming out. It's like they knew. As soon as they saw a kid walking out, they just, oh, wait, somebody's going out. Somebody's got to be playing the Turtles cab. So I always had other people to play with. It was great.
It's a great game. It's a great game.
Great game.
I mean, I'm excited. Did you see the images for San Diego Comic-Con this year? They're doing Ninja Turtles, the arcade game action figures.
No, really?
I'll pull it up for you. They are ridiculously gorgeous.
That's awesome.
If you guys at home would like to see pictures, go to my Facebook page, retro_spectrum on Facebook.
Yeah.
But yeah, I posted the image the other day. Basically, it's all influenced by the colors and whatnot of the original arcade game. And if I can get a hold of one of them, if any of you guys are going out to San Diego Comic-Con, if I can get a hold of one of them, I will definitely be purchasing.
Oh, those look so awesome.
One or more of these.
That looks. And you show me a picture of it. Oh my goodness, that looks amazing. I need that ref. one.
And I definitely need the Don. I mean, they're beautiful. Actually, if I had the chance, if someone was like, "Hey, I have all four. Do you want to buy them?" I probably would do it.
Oh yeah.
Be like, it's $100, and I'll be like, yeah, probably I'll still
The
do it.
the shells are all signed. It's like, yes, this is
Yeah.
great.
So-
Love it. Well, that's a good way to start it out.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. So anything that you're currently working on that you want people to know about?
There's a couple things. You probably am more interested in talking about some of the stuff that you and I will be working on, but I'm gonna save that for the end for a very special reason. But other than that, yeah, just love it if you guys check out my my YouTube channel, retro_spectrum. Like I said, a lot of cool indie stuff locally in Florida. If you just want to check out some of the nerddom in Florida. But other than that, we have a lot of cool features on different things, Disney related, at the parks related. And nerddom related, and even some facial hair related videos.
Nice, can't beat that. Facial hair is key.
And that's where I'll end my plug.
Nice. Well, we'll go ahead and jump into your first track that you chose and see what you got going on here.
All right, we'll play the track, and then I'll explain everything afterwards.
Love it. This brings a tear of joy to my eye.
I thought it was good, an appropriate way to start a list too. The beginnings.
Absolutely. Final Fantasy VII, the Prelude.
Yeah.
It's a great track.
Yeah, it is
a great track.
And the reason I picked this particular track was the first time that we ever really, I mean, we'd hung out before, but we hadn't really officially hung out, was over at your house. And we looked at, you had a pretty prestigious game collection, and that was where the conversation really started. And that was actually you, me, and Steve in that first time.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where the conversation started with Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9 that you had on display. And,
Yeah.
Certainly 7 is one of my favorite games of all time.
Absolutely.
Top 10, if not top 5. Just phenomenal game. I'm so excited to see what they're going to be doing with it this year.
Yeah, the remake.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I can't wait. I really almost don't want to talk over this track.
This should actually, maybe I should have ended with this one. Really emotional ending.
It's just a great, I mean, it just...
I would have ended it with this if you were dying. If it was like, goodbye, Matt, we're going to put you down now.
Well, I told Jamie that at my funeral, the song from Crisis Core, I can't think of the name of it, but that's actually, I want that to be played at my funeral.
Yeah.
So it's a heroic ending to such an amazing life.
I had actually told Marcy that we're going to play the death theme for Aerith when she passed, and it's going to be for my death. But then as soon as they close the coffin, someone's going to slide down from the roof and stab her in the back. So then she has to go with me. It's going to be old like Pharaoh of Egypt type of scenario where the wife has to go with the husband.
She'll just like fall. You'll just have the coffin open. She'll just fall in and then just close. And
but you'll be required to drop her in the water because I'll already be dead.
Okay, I can do it. Whatever needs to be done.
Yep.
So I want to talk just real quick about the remake. I wanted to ask you, do you like the fact that I don't know if you heard, they're breaking it up into, different segments. Do you like that idea, or do you think that some people are saying that, there's where from like milk extra money out of people and stuff like that, but are you happy that they're splitting it up, or do you wish they would all just be one massive release at once?
Given where I am in my life right now, it's gonna be very time sensitive, which is great. And you're like me. We don't always have like a ton of time just to sit down.
Right.
It's been a joy to have a little time lately to play video games. So
right.
If I can have it like okay, now I can play through a chapter real quick, and then when it's done, I'll be excited. And you know what? I think it actually, as painful as it will be to be like, oh, the chapter's over. There is something to be said about that kind of fan culture of like the excitement of waiting for the next chapter to come out and stuff like that. You get it with like television shows like Game of Thrones or like Walking Dead. Yeah. And it would be kind of fun to experience that with Final Fantasy VII. But I don't know, do you see is Square Enix one of those companies that we are notorious for trying to milk things?
I would say pretty much every company is nowadays, but No, I don't think necessarily. So, I mean, well, no, I guess I can't say that because I mean they've released Final Fantasy VII on like every platform imaginable and all these. So like it's just like okay, another release of this, but people buy it. I buy it.
Yeah.
I have it on. I own it like 5 times.
Yeah.
So and it's just, you know, if somebody puts it out there for me to purchase, I'm going to support it because it's my favorite. Well, one of my favorite RPGs of all time. So you know, and and I love the fact that they're breaking it up because it means that they're not going to leave anything out.
Yeah.
They might add a lot of stuff, but I don't think they're going to leave any particular segment out. You have to have the core game intact and then add a bunch of side stuff to do. Because people are going to want to cross-dress. People are going to want to go to the Golden Saucer. They're going to want to do everything that they remember.
Realistically, I'd love it if there was more than the original game. And you would think a lot of people would see it the opposite way, break it down and just bring the core of what the game is. But man, I love the extras. And we're Lord of the Rings Extended Edition fans,
right?
So the more you give me, even if it's not a better film or a better game.
Well, there's so much more. I mean, you have Crisis Core that you can tie in. You have the Turks game. So I mean, you have Dirge of Cerber. You can tie in a lot of these things in like flashbacks or like sequences that people can see to really fill in because there is so much lore in this game. So I hope they do that.
It's a potential to make that game that we love, and obviously does have some spin-offs that aren't nearly as popular.
Right.
But it's a way to make that mythology that much bigger.
Right.
I mean, Final Fantasy is a large mythology as a whole, but just Final Fantasy VII to really expand on that experience is just.
No, absolutely.
I would be so excited.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
That's a good. That's a good first track. It's almost impossible to beat.
Nope. It's a great first track. I ended up picking that one from 7 just because again I thought it'd be a great start for it, and also it really was the start of our game and our gaming friendship. Was the fact that like that initial conversation of like, holy crap, you also love this game with all your heart. I also love this game with all my heart.
What a coincidence,
And we were part of that generation where our a lot of people started with Final Fantasy 3, 6, and a lot of stuff, but our Final Fantasy experience started with 7.
Started with 7 for me. Yep. Yeah. No, it's absolutely, it's hard. Of all the Final Fantasies, I mean, it's my favorite, and a lot of people. Well, I can't say a lot of people, but I mean, there's a good amount that prefer 6, like I said, or others. But 7 will always have that nostalgic factor, and it's just
it was an experience that I didn't know was available in the world of video games. I didn't know you could experience those emotional highs and lows.
Right.
It blew me away.
Yeah.
That you could actually experience that on a video game
outside of a book. It's like
outside
a video
of a book
game
or a movie.
Exactly.
Video games didn't have that. I was used to games like Ghostbusters on the NES.
Where it's just like, oh, I feel like anger.
Or I'm trying to think of other. That was just the first game I thought of that made me mad.
One of many.
Yeah. So it wasn't like these weren't thought provoking or even sometimes great games, but this just blew me away that a video game could do this.
Yeah, well done. I like it.
Thank you.
Let's see what you got going on next here. Castlevania, man.
Yeah.
Castlevania. Yes. I love this game. Love it.
I'm okay with it.
And watching you play through this game for the first time gave me such joy when you finally conquered it.
That was an interesting 6 months of my life.
But it's worth it. I mean, it was
great.
It
is a great game.
And it's one of those games that, you played on the Wii, right? That's what.
Yes.
On my house on the Wii.
I played the Virtual Console version. On the Wii,
yeah. And it's so great. It's great to watch people play these old games that you grew up with, but they never experienced. So watching it's been like, this game is so difficult,
Oh yeah.
And it's watching the frustration, but then joy when I finally did it.
Yeah. The one thing I will credit myself with, I've not played nearly as many games as say Matt or Steve. I just haven't. I haven't played as many games as those guys, but I do have a really cool. I think I'm have a really awesome determination factor. Like,
Yeah.
my frustration turns into determination very quickly. So while I get upset, I have a little outburst. It drives me harder, and I can just sit there and just play and play and play until it's done.
No, it's true. I mean, you kept going, and others would have given up hours prior.
Oh, yeah,
like,
for
you know
sure.
what? Screw this. This is ridiculous. If I died with Medusa head one more time,
Right. Yeah, I'll never be like a speed runner or like a high score person, but if there was ever a scoring for just general determination,
Yeah.
I mean, I can just sit there and that's what I did. There was multiple nights and it wasn't even like at some of the nights, it wasn't even like I was hanging out with you. It was like I went over to your house, I pulled it up and just started playing it.
Yeah.
And you were like doing taxes or something.
Yeah, I was doing that. I was like, wait a minute, are you playing Castlevania in there? Like, everything's on hold.
Yeah.
Get out the video camera. This is really happening, folks.
Yeah.
No, it was great. It was great. And I also remember that spawned the addition of the Manly Game Days when we did that, because we had Castlevania.
Yeah.
We had Castlevania.
We took on a whole
one.
bunch of what would you call them? Rascals over at UCF.
Yeah.
Because we're obviously the more retro gamers.
Props to Manly Stanley from Manly Game Days.
Yeah.
We set up this event with his. It was Famicom Flashbacks versus Manly Game Days, and we had them out to Acme Superstore for round one, where we just basically obliterated them.
Yeah.
I thought, and then round two, they brought us to UCF on their turf, and they chose the games, and we got schooled pretty hard on some of these things.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, to be fair, we picked like classic games. And
Yeah,
they picked
yeah.
like
That's a lot of indie games and
they,
stuff.
they picked like stuff that was there were Japanese imports, but like there was stuff that was imported to Japan and then exported out.
Yeah.
Like they were crazy. I mean, they were like.
But it was great to see the different generations of games. Like, we had older, we're older compared to those guys who were freshmen, sophomores at the time. So, we're picking a bunch of NES games. And one of the most modern ones we picked, I think, was Mario Sluggers on the Wii.
Right.
That was like the newest one.
Yeah.
But they picked the new Tekken on the new systems. They picked Guitar Hero. They did Skullgirls. They had
NBA Jam, but it was the
On Fire edition,
Yeah.
NBA Jam, and I think they even had, it wasn't like Castle Crashers, it was the game that Matt and Chris played. There was like the 2-player.
Oh, yeah,
I forget
I
what
don't
that
even
was, but anyway, that was a great time. And
also our first introduction to Fireball Whiskey.
Fireball Whiskey, that's right. And
Hashtag Fireball Whiskey, sponsor the Caster. Man, if you got that sponsorship, I would be on this every
that'd
week.
be out of control. Every top 5 we do a shot per song.
Oh, jeez.
Things would get out of control real quick. So yeah, Stan and I were versing in the first stage of Castlevania, see who could get through the stage the fastest. And I pulled it off when he died, but it was I didn't even know about this like little secret that he was trying to do, and he missed it,
Yeah.
and then ended up dying on the area below. And what a great time! Just a lot of fun memories with this game.
Let me also say the most frustrating part about this game was not the fact that it was terribly difficult, but it was the fact that I had 2 coaches, Matt and Steve, and they both approached the game completely
Oh
different.
yes,
So Matt would tell me one thing, and Steve would be like, no, you don't do it that way. And Matt would be like, shut up.
that's right. Because he wanted to use holy water.
He used
Nobody
holy
uses holy water.
He
It's
uses
triple
holy
boomerang
water.
or go
You
home.
used triple rang, and
Yep.
I don't remember what I ended up doing. I think I definitely tried both.
You ended up doing triple boomerang, or at least single boomerang, because that was
We did establish with was it Frankenstein that triple rang was just a fraction of a second faster
on
when we
Medusa.
timed it.
On Medusa. Yeah, on
that's what it was.
Medusa. Yeah.
It was just a little bit faster.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. But not as conservative on the heart factor.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No, I mean it's true. I mean they're very, very, very close. I would always give Steve a hard time. I prefer the more ranged weapon in this game, and holy water you have to get relatively close. But the
That's
stun
true.
factor of it is pretty clutch. So
Yeah.
So a lot of great memories with this game. Great series overall, and if anybody hasn't played, we talk about this a lot. But Lords of Shadow, the one for PS3, the very first one. Watch the ending because it ties all the way back to the very first Castlevania.
It's also this is a great example of video games in general in the sense that I'm not going to sit here and say I love this game. I'm not going to say that. However, I love the memories associated with the game, and that. I think that's the way. Even like games that we consider bad games. I mean, you can have bad games that you love because of your memories that are associated with it, and that's kind of what this top 5 is all about. There's good, there's bad, but either way, there's memories that are associated
like
with
me,
it.
like me in Waterworld and the Virtual Boy.
Like you and the Virtual Boy for the first time. I should have put it on the list. Dang it.
Virtual Boy. There's always next. We'll do a Virtual Boy episode.
Dude, if we do a Virtual Boy episode, I will be on that episode.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
I gotta see just if I could find music for Virtual Boy. It's got to be out there.
Oh, there's some great stuff. There's some
yeah.
great. The games on the software was not bad. It's the hardware that people got frustrated with.
No, true.
The games. I will stand by this. The games that came out with, if Nintendo took the idea of coming out with a solid collection of games like they did for the Virtual Boy and did that with every one of their consoles, they would not find themselves in as much trouble as they're oftentimes in.
Right.
You know, because it was. I get it. The hardware wasn't great, but they had some great games.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Castlevania. Good choice. You so far you're on point here.
It's a pretty solid list.
Yeah, I'm very, very impressed. So I'm not nervous, but I'm excited to move on to see what else you got going on here. So
I'm worried that I have kind of climaxed here. I don't know. We may be going downhill. I don't know, but I think it's a good list.
Let's find out. The greatest Zelda game of all time. Link to the Past for the Super Nintendo. Love it. Love it.
It's the Zelda game we agree on.
Yes.
As far as being the best one, I totally agree. It's a great game.
Nothing has surpassed. I mean, I can't say I haven't played all the Zelda games. Not even close. I played 1. I played 2. I played Link to the Past. And I think that's it.
Yeah.
I've watched a lot of them because I'm a huge speedrun fanatic. So I've seen majority of the games played through. Mm-hmm. And I just don't think anything even looks remotely as interesting as Link to the Past. I do want to try Link Between Worlds, though, because I hear that's a phenomenal game.
It's a great love letter. It's a great love letter, for sure. It just so happens that, around the same time that Matt and I became friends, it was around the same time that I really delved into the Zelda games.
Right.
I kind of missed out on them when I was a kid. And now I'm at the point where I think I only have 2 console Zelda games left and a handful of handhelds.
Nice.
There was no interesting or easy way to say that. A handful of handhelds.
One Zelda I absolutely want to try really badly though is Wind Waker.
Yeah.
When I first saw the game, I mean I say this all the time. I'm not a cel shaded style at all. But the music in that game is phenomenal and it looks like a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And considering you spend so much time on the water, that always interests me.
Yeah, I feel like actually Wind Waker is probably the closest to, on the consoles, the closest to Link to the Past and the original Legend of Zelda in that exploration factor.
Right.
That's my opinion. The only real major difference is the fact that it does take place in water. But other than that, I mean, it's a hugely explorative game.
Right.
And that is one of my favorites as well. I would say Link to the Past, and then second favorite would be Wind Waker.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. For me, well, of all the games that I've played, it would be Link to the Past, then Zelda 2, and then the original Zelda.
Zelda 2 is one of my next ones to go into. I'm trying to finish off the whole list of console Zelda games before I start hitting the handhelds hard.
You'll love Zelda 2 is amazing and the most underrated Zelda game I feel.
My concern is it's going to have a little bit of the Castlevania factor of frustration.
Yes, no, absolutely, it absolutely will. But it's great because this game takes exploration to a whole new level.
Right.
I mean, the first one, there was a lot of exploration, but this game, in my opinion, it doesn't compare. I think there's even more exploration in Zelda 2 than in Link to the Past.
Wow.
So, I mean, in my opinion, there's so much, and you don't really have any direction of where to go. You literally start out next to Zelda, who's sleeping, and that's it. Like, there's no, hey, this happened, so go ahead and start. You just start and go. Yeah. So you're like, okay, I'm just gonna walk this way and.
I wonder if Link even tried just giving her a kiss and seeing if she woke up.
I mean, just slap her a couple times or throw some water in it. Give her some Fireball,
Give her some Fireball whiskey.
Yeah.
Hashtag.
Dude,
this is happening. This is happening.
Oh man, that sponsorship's gonna happen. I'm excited now. Link to the past. Good.
Yeah.
Are you gonna check the new Zelda out, or the when it comes out? It comes out next year, right? Wasn't it postponed?
The other relevance to this was the fact that one of the big events that you and I had attended was the when the
Zelda
Symphony first came to Florida the first time around. We all picked up and went down there, and that was a really cool adventure. To go down. It was the old Bob Carr Theater that used to be really popular down here in Orlando, and
that was an amazing experience. I mean, because I did video games live with my wife when we lived up north, and it was great to see him go over all these different songs and all these games. But then you get to Zelda, and it's like we're focusing on just Zelda, and you see all these tracks come to life in front of you with a huge screen and this orchestra backing it up, and it's just something that if you're a video game music fan, it doesn't get much better than that.
It was you, me, Marcy, and Steve was over on the side. He was having this girl was like hitting on him the whole time. We were enjoying the show. Some girl we didn't know.
And everybody had their DSs. Because somebody had a DS. Like when you had your DSs, you could do like that local chat.
Yeah.
And everybody was just drawing pictures and doing all stuff. It was just great because everybody's there as a fan of Zelda and a fan of Zelda music. So it's just you had so much in common with all these people dressing up, and it's just such a wild time.
Another great video game cultural experience.
Yeah.
Just people involved. It's been all 3 songs so far. We're talking about the episodic quality of the new Final Fantasy VII, where people just the excitement. With the last game, the friendships built over a very difficult game and the coaching and whatnot, and then here you have just fans getting together and just celebrating in a franchise of video games.
No, it is, and
it's a great culture.
It really is. It really is. When you get people together like that, and it's. Overall, it's a very positive, amazing experience.
Great way to make friends.
Yes. No, it really is. Because, I mean, at an event like that, you don't have to worry about going up being like, so, what you doing? It's like, hey, what's your favorite Zelda? And then you just start talking to them.
It's not like you have to go to someone's house, someone you barely know, and wonder if they've ever played Final Fantasy VII.
Exactly. Just like you just walk in. I'm just like, look, if anybody has any question from a gaming fan, just look on that wall. It's like, all right, he's got Final Fantasy VII. This guy's good.
Other weird part about that night was when I blew everyone away with my Bible knowledge.
That's true. Because we were playing board games that night.
We were playing one of those ones where it was like top 5 answers. It was almost like a Family Feud type of thing, but I don't know what the game's called.
You are a theology scholar.
It was so funny because it was top 10 biblical women, and I called out Ruth, and everybody looked at me like I was an idiot. It's literally the only female woman who has a book of the Bible, and I was like, "Who's Ruth?" I'm like, oh, wow, guys, I'm sorry.
And then we immediately played Bible games on the NES to confirm that you were correct.
It's true. The hidden secret Ruth level. Not too interesting of a level. That's why you don't see it in most versions of it. You have to get the Japanese imported version.
That's funny. That's awesome. I forgot. I completely
Bible
forgot
game is
about
probably
that.
a much more popular game in Japan. They probably liked it. They probably got into it more than we did.
Bible games.
That is not going to be on the list. I'm just going to let everybody know there's no Bible games.
We'll do a top 5 for Bible games.
Top 5 Bible.
Yeah, I'm gonna have. You never know. That might be like
religious video games.
I've actually gotten a lot of people who follow the project. Because when I did like the Facebook promotion and stuff like that, who followed because they think we're a religious channel for Cast Revive for Revive. They think that the revival of Jesus Christ. They think we're a religious page.
That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah,
because you in actuality you're kind of a video game revival.
Yeah.
And we're not too far from Tampa, and the first church of Nintendo is down in Tampa.
See that? Everything comes together. It's all part of my plan. It has nothing to do with the fact that I put Jesus in the promotional text.
Oh man, that's horrible.
No, just kidding.
It was like #Jesus, #I am definitely going to hell. Jeez Louise.
Goodness gracious. Well, good. Zelda. I'm glad that was on the list. So I can't wait to see what else is on here because as we're listening to these, I'm trying to think what else is going to be on this list.
I did my best to keep it kind of a secret from Matt because I want him to experience this because again, this is kind of my memory. It's
going away gift.
It's like me giving you like a scrapbook of like stuff, except I'm lazy I just used YouTube
and just sharing it with the rest of the world. We love it. So let's see what we got next on the list. I was hoping this was going to be on.
I mean, you knew it was. I mean,
Goonies 2, the NES game.
yeah.
And then we sat down and went through this game from beginning to end together. We just said, you know what? We're going to try to figure out this game. And the internet was our best friend.
To be fair, yeah, I was going to say, to be fair, it wasn't old. We didn't do it old school.
No.
We definitely had help of the internet.
I don't know how anybody beat this game without help.
This goes right along with like the original Zelda or any of those games where you're just like, how did people do it? How did people beat this game?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, you don't have to punch that wall. You have to use a hammer on that wall, or you have to use your glasses. And it's just like, what?
Yeah, it's like you go down like 4 levels, get an item that you have to use on the very first room. So you have to backtrack and do all this stuff all over again. There was so much back and forth. Yeah. And then when you beat it, you rescue a mermaid, and you're just like,
so many throws,
good job.
So many nods to the original movie.
I know.
Absolutely, because there was a Goonies 2 movie, right? No. So if there was, apparently you'd be saving a mermaid.
Nice.
Whose breasts are totally exposed.
Yes, they are. They are. That's why it wasn't made into a movie.
Top 5 nudity in video games. That needs to be a list.
Yeah.
Goonies is
and we'll
on the
pick
list
tracks
again.
that are associated with it.
But yeah, no, I mean, but really, there's an example of a game that, having played it as a kid, I was like, I hate this game.
Yeah.
It's ridiculously hard. I can't figure out what I'm supposed to do. But actually going through it with the guy, the two of us going through it together, I have a huge appreciation for this game now. I would go ahead and say I love this game now.
Yeah.
I actually love this game now. But it's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous game.
It's one of the games that was like, you had to have a notepad. You had to write stuff down because it had 2 views in it. Like you had the side-scrolling aspect, and then it turned to that first-person like Shadowgate style, to where you had this text box appear, and you had to choose, these different abilities. And it was great to go back and forth between these two. It was basically 2 games in one.
I don't think that the developers hated gamers. I don't think they made this game just to make gamers angry.
Good old Konami.
I think they legitimately were trying to do something super, super ambitious.
Yeah.
It was just a little too much at the time.
Yeah.
But with the help of a guide and that would have been the thing if they had some sort of source of like hints or something like that, it'd have been cool if it was like a King's Quest type of thing where they put hints inside the instruction manuals that would take you along the way or something like that. It's a hard game.
Yeah. No, it's brutal. It's brutal.
But
I mean, it's Metroid brutal.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The repetitive, even though the song's a little bit repetitive, it is, for those of you who recognize the song, it is
Cyndi
Lauper's "Goonies Are Good Enough" song, just done in 8-bit form, which is so fun.
And this is throughout the entire game.
Yeah, well, no, there's actually a couple other tracks in there,
and
you would recognize some of them. I mean, there were some really good tracks. I give this game a lot of credit for a soundtrack. I mean, there were some good tracks in here. In the end, I picked this one just because, again, I wanted it to be something where people listen to it and go like, even if I don't know the game, I know
that
the song.
Yeah. No, absolutely, absolutely.
But yeah, Goonies 2 on the NES. Somewhat commonly known fact that Goonies 1 never made it to the consoles here in America. So you just had Goonies 2. You never had Goonies 1. If you went back and looked for the cartridge, you wouldn't find it.
Right.
But it was in the arcade, and our good friend Chris has it over at the BART. So if you ever get a hankering, go to this Nintendo Play Choice arcade, and you can play through. That'd be a ridiculously long game to play.
Yeah, bring a notepad and bring a pencil because you're going to be
purchase 2 beers.
Yes,
because you're not going to want to,
It was a lot of fun. It was one of those things where you go through and you have an appreciation, like you said, for people who beat this legit back in the day. It's one of those games that you would have all year because there's just so much exploration and that you have to backtrack.
Yeah.
But
I can't imagine the joy if you were to do it without a guide, the joy that when you actually just made a discovery of some kind, where it's like, oh my gosh, this has just unlocked a whole new world.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
Another good choice.
Thank you.
Another good choice. I kind of want to go back and play this game again.
Yeah, I agree.
At least test it out. I mean,
it is great.
See how much I remember when we actually went through it and beat it.
It is great that we developed an appreciation for the game.
No, absolutely.
Afterwards, because again, it's not. I wouldn't say it's a great game. I wouldn't say that, but I actually do love the game now.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Another good choice.
And that's just again the testament to the culture of 2 guys sitting down and just playing through the game.
Just playing through a game.
Yeah.
No, that was a fun day. I think it took us probably. I think we did it for like 2 or 3 hours, even with help.
Yeah, no, we definitely didn't speed run it.
Because even with help, it's a hard game. Like, okay, I know where to go, but It gets crazy.
It does get crazy.
It gets crazy.
It absolutely gets crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, there were aspects of the game I didn't even realize. Like, you had to get a deep sea diver suit.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about
that. It
that.
got crazy at some points. Like, stuff I was not even close to aware of because I never got that far in the game. I actually, as a kid, I traded my original copy for something else. I think I traded. Listen to this one. I think I traded Goonies 2 for Yonoid.
Really?
Which is another brutal game.
Oh, man.
But it's a platformer, and I understood that a lot better.
Yonoid is fun, though. Yonoid is a lot of fun.
It is.
It's actually got some good music, too. I wouldn't mind doing a Yonoid episode.
We should do a food episode.
We should do a food episode.
Yeah.
That should happen.
Yeah.
Top 5 video game food.
Burger time, Yonoid.
Yeah, I mean, turtles. We got pizza.
Turtles, we got pizza, for sure.
Let's see. Well, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. What else we
Spot,
got?
the video game.
Diner Dash on
Diner Dash.
on the cell phone. You got
the Burger King Xbox game.
the Burger King Xbox. Yeah, the MC and the Kids or whatever.
MC Kids too.
MC
Yeah,
Kids.
I forgot about that one.
See, there you go. We just got our list right there.
Yeah, right there.
Boom.
We don't even have to do the episode.
Well,
you guys got it just now.
Yeah. Well, go ahead and comment or like if you want us to go ahead and do a food episode.
Or if you have ideas.
Or if you have yeah,
We
absolutely.
probably missed some stuff.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Well, let's move on to the last track that you picked, because I'm really
it's gonna be
excited.
the best one, so I can guarantee that.
Here we go. Let's find out. I love it. I love it. 3D World Runner, done by Square. Music by Uematsu, who does Final Fantasy. This is one of his first games that he did, and
I don't mind going.
God, we had a lot of fun with this game.
I don't mind going obscure with my number one.
This was in our retro video game Olympics that we did, wasn't it? Yeah. This was our first kind of introduction to it. And
it's a game we found, and then we researched. We found more information about it, and then we just delved into it, and we ended up. It's a ridiculously addicting game.
It is.
Even though it's not well known, every single one of you listening should go back. It's on the NES, and it's it reminds me of that game for Genesis. What's that one that
Space Harrier?
Space Harrier. That's
Space
what it kind of reminds me of.
Absolutely. I mean, you're following behind this guy, World Runner, and you're basically trying to get through these levels that have precision jumps and stuff chasing you, and and you can get these. There's these pillars that you can bump into that drop stuff for you to fire and shields, but they also drop a mushroom. And normally, when you think of a mushroom dropping, you think Mario, I'm going to get it, but no, it instantly kills you. It's a poison mushroom. Who would do that? That's horrible. But as you progress through these worlds, I mean, it gets insane because once you press forward, the board just moves. You can't just stop moving. You can press down to like slow down some, but the board does never stop. So you have to constantly. So you have to kind of memorize, the layout of the board, and then you could turn on the 3D with the 3D glasses,
3D effect.
and it gets a 3D effect just like Rad Racer and stuff. And it's so much fun.
It's one of those games where I'd encourage people to play, and even if you don't like it at first, play it a couple times, and there's something about it.
If you like getting beaten in the face, like if you ever played Bit Trip Runner, to where it's just like,
absolutely.
oh my goodness, this is so frustrating, but I'm so addicted and having so much fun.
Bit Trip Runner, just a different perspective.
Yeah. I mean, and it's a beautiful game. It is so much fun, and a game that I actually thought about speedrunning quite often, but
my biggest regret of our friendship is when we were in Tampa that one time that I didn't pick it up in box.
Oh yeah. Can't imagine there's too many of those lying around.
I was out like after the fact, just really disappointed I didn't buy it in box.
Yeah, well,
because it wasn't even that much. It was like $10 or $15. I think it was $15.
Yeah,
I'm just like, I could own it right now.
Yeah,
but I got Mickey Mouse Capades.
That's true, and I got a Sega Master System up there.
Yeah, so I can't complain. Mickey Mouse Capade is I was happy to have that.
Oh yeah, Mickey Mouse Capades is awesome, dude. It's like the greatest Mickey game of all time.
Yeah, I'm sorry my list was kind of Nintendo heavy.
Never apologize. That's awesome.
Well, specifically kind of NES heavy, but that was my introduction to video games. Was that when we got our NES? You started a little bit earlier than I did.
Yeah, I started with it in television.
Yeah.
So, and never look back, man. Never look back. It's been a great pleasure of me trying to acquire some of these old systems, and once I get to my next house, I can actually have a game room and really set all these things up and and play all these old consoles again,
Yeah.
because it's just right now I have like emulation, and you can play them through the Wii, download like the old games, but there's no comparison playing them on the original systems. There's just that joy and that nostalgic factor that transports you back to when you were a kid, and and like I see these things on Facebook all the time. It's like if this image looks familiar, your childhood was great, and it's just you and a couple friends sitting in your room with bags of chips, just around a TV playing video games, and it's great. It is a lot of fun. So
Fun little side fact that I don't know if Matt remembers this, but the character 3D World Runner actually makes an appearance on Chocobo's Racing.
that's right. I remember you telling me about that. Yeah.
He's a character that you can earn later in the game, and unlike the other characters that drive cars, he just runs.
Yep. He's super fast, and he can jump really far distances.
He's the World Runner.
He is the World Runner. Yeah. Well, that was a great list, and
Thanks.
that definitely sums up all these years of friendship. That's for sure. We've had a lot of fun memories associated with these games, and it's
some of them. I mean, Goonies 2, 3D World Runner, Castlevania made it on the list really quick.
Yeah.
Those were some big moments in gaming in our friendship. So,
yeah.
And it's fun to think about, because I hope as we were going through this, you guys were thinking about some of the stuff, some of those moments you had with the community, with your friends, and those experiences that stuck with you because of gaming.
Yeah.
And that's what really makes gaming so valuable, is the fact that it does, people, obviously our parents were always kind of concerned about how much time we spent gaming, but there were bonds that were made, there were friendships that were made. And
Absolutely. And I'm interested to see, what people like send your list in. I'm interested to see, like, if you have a friend that like tell me about a song that reminds you of a good friend, and like just what the memories that are associated with it. Because there are so many people that have gotten together just over gaming, gotten married, and just it all started over just a simple game, and just a bond was formed. And it's the power of gaming and gaming music. Because as soon as just like you smell something, it takes you back. You hear a song you haven't heard in forever, you're taken back to your childhood and all this memories associated with it. So it's a good time.
Or your adulthood.
Or your adulthood.
in our case.
In our case, yeah.
Or your adulthood.
Absolutely. Well, and in all honesty, that many years ago, I was still a child. So
I think we're still kind of children.
I'm still a child, yes. I'm a 34-year-old child. So, well, great list, man.
So, but it's cool because, you know what? Despite you moving and despite, going through this list, our friendship's not over, and we still have a lot of things that we're working on together. One of the more current things that Matt and I have been working on is a new series on my YouTube channel called Game or Grub.
Yeah.
I'm working on episode 1. We've already released a pilot. It was a little bit of a longer episode where we, basically, to sum up what Game or Grub is, it's basically we take classic video games and place them against modern marketing. We look at some of the ways that foods and drinks are marketed nowadays, and see how they rank against video games, because there is no reason that you should place. There's no ranking system that would actually be able to evaluate this, but we make it work because it's YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually a lot of fun to do.
It kind of is a play on the whole idea that YouTube is a place where you can subjectively analyze and overanalyze just about everything.
Everything. Yep.
And put them into some sort of top 10 or ranking of some sort. So, yeah, we do that with food versus video games. And, the first episode was Twilight Princess versus, I should say the pilot episode was Twilight Princess versus the Shamrock Shake. And Twilight Princess just pulled it out.
Yep.
So check it out. If you get a chance, check out the pilot episode on retro_spectrum. And once you go through, tell us if you agree with us, if the Shamrock Shake should have pulled it out, or if Twilight Princess is better. But a little spoiler here: the next episode that'll be coming out later this week is Bart versus the Space Mutants versus the Slurpee Donut from 7-Eleven.
And this episode was so much fun to make, and it's you get to see some interesting stuff, some interesting commentary, and I'm actually really excited to see this thing completed and up. So
yeah, and we have it's ridiculous. We have episodes planned throughout the summer.
Yeah.
There's just
because you think about it, it's like, how would these things go to? But when you watch it, you're just like, this does actually kind of make sense, and it's pretty cool. It's actually we
loosely make it make sense, which again is
it's just two guys having fun playing games and eating. So it's another excuse to play games and eat.
A testament to the power of YouTube.
That's right.
So you can look out for that episode coming soon. And as far as the rest of my channel, I come up with new videos every Thursday, and when I have more stuff, I come out with stuff on Tuesday and Thursday because there's ridiculous amounts of stuff going on in the Orlando.
He's always
area.
having VIP badges thrown at him, and they asked me would come and film. So
yes.
It's
usually like just people like, hey, do you want to film us make food in our kitchen? I'm like, yes.
Hey, a lot of people would like to go behind the scenes like that. You know?
Yeah. We've had some really good time. Matt has helped me out a number of times. I've videotaped over at Wacko Taco
over at the Oblivion
tap room.
So yeah, I mean, it's really cool to go behind the scenes. You might think like, oh, what do I want to see that for? But it's actually really cool to make these dishes from scratch and how these restaurants do it, and it's a really cool experience. So I'd highly recommend it. Yeah, definitely subscribe to him, check it out, share with your friends, and like you said, later this week we got a new video coming out, so you definitely want to.
It's in celebration of National Donut Day.
Yeah. Yeah,
everybody
loves donuts, and if you don't, well, I got nothing to say.
I recently delved into all the information on National Donut Day. It doesn't take place on an actual, it doesn't have a number day. It takes place on the first Friday of July.
Interesting.
It's not like it's like July 3rd every year. It's the first Friday, or I'm not June. It's not like it's June 1st. So it's the first Friday of every June.
That's crazy.
Because donuts do their own thing.
I'm definitely going to be getting myself a donut. Maybe a slushy donut.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe.
I can't spoil it, but we did enjoy ourselves, I will say that.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
More than we thought we would.
Well, thank you, Brandon. This was a good way to close this out.
Closure.
Because that's it. Because after I leave here, I'll be back to. I'm not actually sleeping at my house anymore. So
yeah,
it's a good way to end it out. So.
What's weird is that Matt always had us kind of ready for him to just die young. He was like, listen, I'm living hard. I'm probably gonna die before.
Absolutely, I still feel that way.
So, but you made it. You made it 7 years in our friendship without dying. So
that's right. And it's been some close calls. That's for sure. It's some very close calls. So, but we've done some really, really cool things, and we got a lot of cool things planned for the future. So we're hoping to go back to Holiday Matsuri this year, do some panels.
Yes.
And we've done a couple before, so looking forward to getting back into it. So
yeah.
So be sure to follow us on all of our media: Facebook, Twitter, Cash Revive. Shoot us an email at cashrevive@gmail.com. We're also on YouTube, but more importantly, check us out on geekstreetstation.com. You can find us, the Thirsty Gamers, and For Geek's Sake, all under one banner. We have blogs. You can find our podcast live streaming right through there, as well as our YouTube channel and Twitter. So everything is right under one umbrella for you guys. You don't have to jump around the multiple sites. So go to geekstreetstation.com every day. We have constantly have new content going up through all the different projects there. So for all your geek needs, that's the only place you need to head. End of story. So let's see what you got picked for our outro track.
It's pretty fitting.
It is pretty fitting. I'm just gonna play it for a sec before we say goodbye. Let's see what we got here. I'd say it is very fitting. You can hear more of this track next week.
Coming up on Thursday.
Well, again, Brandon, thank you very much for being here. This was a great honor, and we'll definitely have you back on soon because I want to do that food episode.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. So again, thank you guys very much for listening, and we will see you next week.